Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Know how significant that meeting would be this after Coach Saban and Coach Oates were in Birmingham last night. Chris Lowe just reported this story about 45 minutes old, and here it is word for word out of the gate. Nick Saban, while admitting he was wrong to single out Texas A&M and Jackson State in his comments that he made Wednesday concerning the implementation of name, image, and likeness, told ESPN today that he wasn't backing down from his stance that paying high school players under the use of NIL could potentially ruin college sports. Quote, "It's gotten completely out of control and not sustainable model. It's to the point where you've got these attorneys/agents calling collectives and saying, pay my player hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, then they want their piece of that. All they want is a cut. It's about the money." I should have been more specific when I said bought instead of saying you can buy players now through name, image, and likeness, and should have never mentioned any specific schools and just should have said across the sport. That's on me. But other than that, I don't have any regrets over what I said Wednesday.
Why would he?
For those of you that have only heard snippets, here is the 6-minute and 56-second answer to what was the last question of the day in a little town hall that was for the World Games, speaking at an event in Birmingham, Coach Nick Saban.
Well, name, image, and likeness to me is a great concept for players. Players have always been allowed to work. This is just a different opportunity for them to make money by working and using their own name, image, and likeness, whether it's signing autographs, whether it's doing commercials or ads for some company or whatever. So there's nothing wrong with that. And I told our players when this whole thing started to get agents, get representation, and so you create opportunities for yourself. And our players last year created $3 million worth of opportunity for themselves by doing it the right way. And I have no problem with that, and nobody had a problem on our team with that because the guys that got the money earned it. Now, there were only 25 guys on our team that had the opportunity to earn money. The issue and the problem with name, image, and likeness is coaches trying to create an advantage for themselves. I went out and said, okay, how could we use this to our advantage? They created what's called a collective. All right, a collective is an outside marketing agency that's not tied to the university, that's funded by alumni from the university. And they give this collective millions of dollars. And that marketing agency then funnels it to the players. All right, and the coach actually knows how much money's in the collective, so he knows how much he can promise every player. That's not what name, image, and likeness was supposed to be. That's what it's become, and that's the problem in college athletics right now. And now every player is saying, well, what am I going to get? Well, my philosophy is my job is to create a platform for our players to create value for themselves and their future by becoming better people, by graduating from school and developing a career off the field, and by seeing if they can develop a career on the field and play at the next level in the NFL. Our players have made $1.7 billion in the NFL since 2010. All right, so we've created a lot of opportunity. We also have one of the highest graduation rates, in college athletics. We have the most guys that graduate inside of 4 years. So we've done a good job of that. But now in recruiting, we have players in our state that grew up wanting to come to Alabama, that they won't commit to us unless we say we're going to give them what somebody else is going to give them. And my theory on that is everything that we've done in college athletics has always been equal. Your scholarship is equal. They get equal Alston money. They get equal cost of attendance. They get equal academic support. They get equal medical attention. Everything has always been equal. So I told our players, I said, we're going to have a collective, but everybody's going to get the same amount of opportunity from that collective. Now, you can go earn however much you want. And I tell the recruits the same thing, because our job is not to buy you to come to school here. And I don't know how you manage your locker room, and I don't know if this is a sustainable model, because one of you folks are going to give some player that comes to our school a bunch of money to come to our school. And then you're going to come to the game in full strut, thinking, I'm going to tell everybody I got that guy to come to Alabama. And then he's not going to play, and he's going to transfer, and you're going to say, I'm never going to do this again. All right, so I don't know how it works. I don't know how you sustain a model like that. Now, I know that we're going to lose recruits because somebody else is going to be willing to pay them more. But name, image, and likeness is something that's here. And I think the more supporters that we have for the University of Alabama in all sports, that are willing to sponsor players, whatever you want to call it, use them in your business to help your business, that's going to help our programs. The thing that I fear is at some point in time, they're just going to say we're going to have to pay players. If we start paying players, we're going to have to eliminate sports. All right, and this is all bad for college sports. I mean, we probably have, 450 people on scholarship at Alabama, whether they're women's tennis players, women's softball players, golfers, baseball players, non-revenue sports that have for years and years and years been able to create a better life for themselves because they've been able to get scholarships and participate in college athletics. That's what college athletics is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be something where people come and make money, and you make a decision about where you go to school based on how much money you're going to make. You should make a decision based on where you have the best chance to develop as a person, as a student, and as a player, which is what we've always tried to major in, and we're going to continue to do that, and hopefully there's enough people out there that will want to do it. But I know the consequence is going to be difficult for the people who are spending tons of money to get players. And you've read about them. You know who they are. I mean, we were second in recruiting last year. A&M was first. A&M bought every player on their team, made a deal for name, image, and likeness. All right, we didn't buy one player. All right, but I don't know if we're going to be able to sustain that in the future because more and more people are doing it. Yeah. So it's tough, and people blame the NCAA. But in defense of the NCAA, we are where we are because of the litigation that the NCAA gets, like the transfer portal. Every time somebody wanted to transfer, they'd apply for a waiver. If you didn't give them, the NCAA didn't give them a waiver so they could be immediately eligible, they filed suit. So the NCAA would back off and give them a waiver. So they just said, we're just going to make a rule where everybody can transfer. That's how that happened. So if the NCAA doesn't get some protection from litigation, whether we got to get an antitrust or whatever it is, from a federal government standpoint, this is not going to change because they cannot enforce their rules, just like Nate said. We have a rule right now that says you cannot use name, image, and likeness to entice a player to come to your school. Hell, read about it in the paper. I mean, Jackson State paid a guy $1 million last year that was a really good Division I player to come to the school. It was in the paper, and they bragged about it. Nobody did anything about it. I mean, these guys at Miami that are going to play basketball there for $400,000, it's in the newspaper. The guy tells you how he's doing it. So, but the NCAA can't enforce their rules because it's not against the law. And that's an issue. That's a problem. And unless we get something that protects them from litigation, I don't know what we're going to do about it.
That is probably the best speech I've heard anybody explain what's going on. Unfortunately, I really don't think he should have used the Texas A&M register, but I don't think it somebody, the narcissist seems to be Jimbo in this face because he thinks it's all about him. Right?
Let's quickly hear from Jimbo Fisher from earlier today.
Coach, I'd like to respond to some comments made last night in Alabama.
Yes, I would. First of all, I'll say it's a shame that we have to do this. It's really despicable. It's despicable that somebody can say things about somebody and an organization. More importantly, 17-year-old kids. You're taking shots at 17-year-old kids and their families. That they broke state laws. They're all money. We bought every player on this group. We never bought anybody. No rules were broken. Nothing was done wrong. It was all in the way we do things, the ethics in which we do things. And these families, it's despicable that a reputable head coach could come out and say this when he doesn't get his way or things don't go his way. The narcissist in him doesn't allow those things to happen, and it's ridiculous. But when he's not on top, and the parity in college football he's been talking about, go talk to coaches who coach for him. You'll find out all the parity. Go dig into wherever he's been. You can find out anything. And it's a shame that you got to sit here and defend 17-year-old kids and families and Texas A&M because we do things right. We're always going to do things right. But we're always going to be here. We're doing a heck of a job. These coaches have done a great job. Our players have done a great job. The whole organization of recruiting people. It's despicable that we got to sit here at this level of ball and say these things to defend the people of this organization, the kids, 17-year-old kids, and their families. It's amazing. Some people think they're God. Go dig into how God did his deal. You may find out about a guy that a lot of things you don't want to know. We built him up to be the czar of football. Go dig into his past or anybody that's ever coached with him. You can find out anything you want to find out, what he does and how he does it. And it's despicable. It really is. And it's a shame we have to sit up here and have this conversation about things we do. And it's personal to us? Yes, it is. It's personal to A&M. It's personal to our players. It's personal to our coaches and everybody involved. And I know the guy. Know him really well. It's amazing that we're allowed to do those things. It's really despicable. And I hate it for our players who are coming here, who did things the right way, have done things the right way, and will continue to do things the right way. I apologize to you that people insult you publicly the way they're doing it. And our fans, I apologize to you guys for people saying those things about Texas A&M. I promise you this, there are no violations. There are nothing wrong. It's the second time we've had to do this with grown men who don't get their way and want to pout, throw a fit, and act up. Just go ask all the people who work for him. You'll know exactly what he's about. I always said this. My dad always told me this. When people show you who they are, believe them. He's showing you who he is.
He sounds guilty as hell. I'm sorry, he does. He sounds like he's guilty as hell. He knows exactly what's going on. Coach Saban just told us how everybody's doing. He just and he didn't say it was he didn't say anything. It wasn't bad. Did you think it was bad, Steve? I mean, I agree that he's
the pointing out of individuals like Miami, Texas A&M, Jackson State, that could have been avoidable. But the overall message, I think, was on point.
Totally.
And Jimbo's taking it the wrong way because I don't even know if Jimbo, one of the questions I wish would have been asked.
Did you listen to it?
Did you listen to the entire 7 minutes, or did you hear that one little 10-second bite about Texas A&M?
Well, it's not like Coach Saban's. It's been written everywhere about it. This is not some kind of like Coach Saban's some outlier saying something. It's in print talking about how much money that was given to these recruits. Now, I'm not saying they did anything wrong. I don't think anybody – I don't know.
Bill Bender, the national writer for the Sporting News, is going to join us here in 2 minutes' time. Happy to report Jordy Arman is back here with us at Baumhower's Victory Grill.
Just got off IR.
Yeah. But first, let's talk to Kevin on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing well.
What's on your mind, sir?
Well, let me say this. I know Wes is going to always shake the Alabama pom-poms. I'm an Alabama fan also. But I'll say this. What Nick Saban did was pretty foul. And I'm going to explain why. for years, college football, when it had the rules that students couldn't get any type of benefits, schools have been given $500 handshakes from boosters. People have been getting houses that were poor, and then magically a house shows up. We know what happened with Cam Newton. And this stuff went on for years. And the only reason NIL came into being is because the courts decided that college football shouldn't be allowed to profit off name, image, and likeness of players without them being able to profit off their own name, image, and likeness. So college football has been basically taking advantage of football players or athletes in general for years. And they got all the benefits. Now, if Nick Saban's got a problem with players getting money, maybe he should give back all that $10 million.
I don't think he has a problem with players getting money.
Apparently, he has a problem with name, image, and likeness because it's interfering with his recruiting. Now, he's for years has run college football and never had any bit of scandal. But apparently, Jimbo Fisher knows a few things because he wouldn't have said all those things about Nick Saban if he couldn't back them up. And since
how did he back anything up? He had the press in front of him.
He was just using blanket implications.
Yeah,
I wish
right there.
Had he opened up that box, he needed to be specific.
Yes, exactly.
So we can all use our imaginations to run wild.
Well, Nick Saban was pretty specific by calling him out by name, accusing that man of cheating. So why?
But he didn't say it was against the rules.
What he said, he just said he saw it in some papers.
Did you listen to the whole thing?
He didn't say where. I listened to the whole thing.
And so this is the
online. Listen to the whole thing. His problem is the same problem most college football fans have. They don't want
Can I ask you a question?
That's what this is about. Really? You think all you getting is room and board and little food, and they should be happy. That's all this is about. Because
they're getting an education, right? Worth a lot of money, actually.
But they're making the school.
That's what I got.
Amount of money.
That's what I got. Yeah, everybody's making money, apparently. Yeah. But that's what you agree when you go there. You don't have to go there. Nobody's making you go there.
We got a problem with the system.
Well, I don't agree with you at all, but the way you're coming about it. Yeah.
But those are facts.
But they're not facts. What you're saying is they're not getting anything, and that they've been taught. Did you play college football?
No, I did not.
I did.
And you didn't make no money while playing, did you? Did you?
I made a lot of money from my education. Actually.
Did you make money? Did you make money playing
football? No, I got my education.
Before you playing football.
I hope they did.
And they made a lot of money, didn't they?
I hope so. Yeah, they should though. They should make the money.
No, so if they should make money, why is the issue about the kids making money?
There isn't. That's what the whole thing is. No, I've been for NIL the whole time. How long have I been for NIL, Steve?
Yeah,
20
since
years?
the get-go. He's been wanting the Olympic model since forever.
So what you're saying is Coach Saban's against NIL. He's not. He's against paying players to go to the college.
High school
before
players.
They get there.
High school.
And if you listen to what he said he's all for NIL, and their players made $3 million last year in NIL. You need to listen to what the man says. He's supporting it.
What the man said. But
he's supporting NIL. What he's saying is that you shouldn't pay a kid to go to school, to a certain school, and I agree with him.
And like, at the end of the day, they have a skill that is completely valued, apparently, and people want it. And in America, being a capitalist society, you get paid for the skills that you have. Only in sports do we decide that's a problem.
I disagree.
Kevin, I appreciate the phone call.
Thanks for calling, though.
We've got Bill Bender on hold, and we need to get to Bill. Obviously, this has generated a lot of opinions here in the state. Bill, I appreciate you hopping on with us on what has already been a busy day in college football. I hope you're doing well, sir.
Yeah, I'm just getting ready to file my piece on the Saban-Fisher thing, so fire away. Lord knows those two did enough of that the last 2 days.
Well, what is your take on what you've heard over the last 20 hours or so?
Well, I caught the tail end of your last caller there. I mean, there's a lot of, to me, okay, I think Nick Saban has a point about NIL and collectives. Like you guys said, he's not against it, and he took aim at collectives. He made the mistake of targeting Jimbo Fisher. That was wrong. And then I think Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher, defending him program, nothing wrong with that. Then he launched personal attacks on Nick Saban. That's wrong, too. So it's like the two wrongs don't make a right thing here. Everything they're trying to negotiate with collectives and NIL and the sausage being made in front of everybody now is fair. But, it's not going to help when you're launching personal attacks, although that's very entertaining for us media types.
Makes for an easy day on the radio.
Yeah, Jimbo's press conference was highly charged. I would argue it's maybe the most memorable press conference I can think of outside of, I think Nicole Arbach tweeted saying, it's better than Gundy and I'm 40, and I think she's right. But use that as all these attacks on Saban's career, and I don't know if that's the right way to go. Saban's been highly successful in what he's done, and a lot of people have taken shots at him over the years, and it doesn't. If you're going to do that, like the TV show The Wire said, you best not miss. And I don't think he got everything out of Saban today. He actually got an apology.
Yeah. I would also say, whoever is in charge there at Texas A&M, I think the smart thing would have done to know what they were about to do and cancel that press conference. It felt I don't see I realize Commissioner Greg Sankey came out with a statement about an hour ago, Bill, but I think there was a miss there for Texas A&M and the people in charge because of just how heated he was even out of the gate before he took one question.
Yeah, and like I said, it's the two wrongs don't make a right. That's something he mentioned in his press conference that Saban called him, and I'm guessing Saban called him to apologize. Yeah. And if you're not going to take the call, that's being petty. I get it. People get mad, and I have a temper like everybody else, but it is not going to help the sport because they're all trying to negotiate the NIL thing. And it's like your last caller just said, and Nick Saban didn't say, when you have $3 million of NIL money flowing through your program, that's not a bad thing. But, one of the issues I've struggled with this whole time is you're hearing stories about players making, say a receiver, like Jordan Addison, for example. What if Jordan Addison makes $3 million to go to Texas? Should he be getting paid more than a NFL receiver that's a second-round pick? That's the part I struggle with is the market right? Athlete. Should they? And it's other people's money. I get it, but I'm wondering if the market is a little out of control, and that's what Saban's saying.
And he's right. The thing about it is, Coach Saban's right. He wasn't right again in singling out Texas A&M, but the last press conference I heard like that, as defensive as that, was at an Ole Miss when old coach there was denying everything. Hugh Freeze. And he said, just call in if you know anything. And there were 1,500 phone calls. So
that was the press conference in the basement.
So I don't know. It's one of those things is if the NIL, if you're going to pay the players, they need to be paid the same. But the NIL is separate to me. It's about name, image. It's about being a commercial, doing a commercial for somebody, and marketing yourself. And the Olympic model is what I've always been for years and years and years, and it didn't hurt the Olympics, right? It helped the Olympics.
Right. And again, these athletes deserve to make money for their name, image, and likeness. And like you said on the radio today with Hester and Carpenter, if it's for Tyson's Chicken, he reeled off a bunch of other businesses. That's fine. That's what this was supposed to do. Now it's become a little bit of a recruiting tool, especially if these collectives are that. And here's the bottom line, and where Fisher has to be careful is Saban will get his way. He'll preach that message at the SEC meetings. He'll preach that message at SEC Media Day, and he'll get his way eventually because he's the most influential voice in college football. And at the same time, just because you're 70 years old doesn't mean you can just say what you want. I've got plenty of uncles like that. It's their way, and I get it. And I grew up with that, right? So I understand.
Right, yeah, everybody does.
But at the same time, like, just because you're that old don't mean you're right. And I think that's what I'm struggling with here. I just think Saban owned up to what he did wrong. You guys make a good point about the A&M press conference. And that's basically what I'm writing for Sporting News, is that the two wrongs aren't going to make a right here.
Is Dabo Swinney right from his comments a month ago about a blow-up coming?
Well, I mean, we're teetering toward that, and that's why I think these coaches are struggling with it. I think the root of what Saban's getting at, right, it's not this year's recruiting class. I don't think he cares about 22's over. Texas had A&M had the top recruiting class. You look at Alabama's next class, they have 3 guys committed. 3. And I think they're ranked 36th, and probably the frustration comes from, okay, how do we recruit in this new age where right now Texas Tech has 20, not Texas A&M or Texas Tech has 20 guys committed. So what are we doing? And I think that's where, when he says those things, that's what it's coming from. It's not, when he talks about parity, everybody rolls their eyes. He's right. The wrong voice for it because, obviously he has the machine that's dominated the sport for the last decade.
So, he did mention, if you listen to that speech, that Alabama's supposed to have one of the best classes ever in state, best recruiting classes ever is going to come from the state this year. And he mentions in the talking about he has kids that grew up Alabama fans that won't commit because of NIL. He said that in that speech, if you listen in that speech. So that's a good point.
And that's where we deal with the same thing here in Ohio, right? Like, most kids grow up in Ohio, they want to go to Ohio State. And, but Ohio State recruits at a national level. Alabama probably has that same problem before. The problem was you're recruiting kids from Florida, Georgia, their quarterbacks from California. And that's part of the deal. But the NIL has become part of the recruiting process. That is a fact. And that's what he's aiming at, because I don't think it's just like the transfer portal. We can talk about what the intent of it was versus the result, and I think he's right when he talks about those things. And that was the difference between him and Jimbo today. When they asked Jimbo about NIL and collectives, he really didn't have much to say, right?
He did not.
It was, I'm going after Saban, and that's where he missed the mark. So, again, the feud is entertaining. It's going to lead to a lot of articles about October 8th and how great that's going to be, when in reality, that's a football game's not going to settle these issues.
No, it is not. Bill, always appreciate the time, sir, and the insight, and it certainly is going to be a little more interesting down on the beach here in a couple of weeks right after Memorial Day.
Rumble at the beach, Destin. Rumble in Destin.
Yeah, we'll see. Get them in a match. Get them in a cage match. It sounds good. I'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you, Bill. Let's take our first time out. Jordy Arman is on hand with us. We'll take your phone calls on the other side as you are on hold. We'll get right to you.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Two Maids and a Mop. That's all you need to know to clean house. Two Maids and a Mop is an award-winning company, bonded and insured. Hire them for yourself, or they have gift cards if you want to make someone else's day. Find out more online at twomaidshuntsville.com. A maid service worth talking about. Two Maids and a Mop take care of everything. They supply all the cleaning equipment needed. Call 256-883-6243. The only finger you'll need to lift is the one to call them.
Did you know that your car, truck, or SUV may be worth over 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we'd love your trade-in for a personalized custom factory order on a 2022 Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, or F-150. You'll get exactly the color and options you want, and Woody Anderson Ford will save you 5% off MSRP, plus you'll get any additional Ford factory rebates. Or if you need a new ride today, choose a Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned vehicle. We have over 100 to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with our 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. At Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a new order or a pre-owned, we promise to always do the right thing. Corner of George and Sparkman, hope to see you soon.
Our customers trust us not only to find the right hardware, but to advise them on the technology that makes them more efficient.
My Next Level team researches and discovers real solutions. Check-in software, HR, digital signature, and workflow software. It saves you money immediately. We hold your hand and stay with you through the transition.
We're taking our customers to the next level in business process automation.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked the reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. We're still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
Outdoor season is coming. Can't wait.
Here at Brooks & Collier, neither can we. Outdoor season is also grilling season.
And we have plenty of grills and smokers in stock from Traeger, Blaze, and Big Green Egg.
There's the greenhouse, new indoor items and home furnishings as well.
Whatever it takes. Browse over 2 acres of furnishings. Can't wait.
How about you? North Alabama's indoor and outdoor living headquarters for over 75 years.
813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
Hey, North Alabama, this is Chuck Oliver. We've got college football all over the place, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
Where would this college be without football?
Listen to me weekdays at noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's a one-break Thursday. Back here with you at Baumhower's Victory Grill. 40 years, 4 concepts, and 14 restaurants later, Bob's still serving up great food and hospitality here to the fine folks and visitors to the great state of Alabama, as quite a few folks have rolled in here to Baumhower's Victory Grill, including our very own Drew DeArmond. It is fantastic to see you, Mr. DeArmond.
Thank you, Steve and Wes, for allowing me to be here tonight. First of all, I want to reach out to everybody and thank them for their thoughts and their prayers about what I've been going through. It's been a medical situation, is all I can say. But I've been off the air since last Tuesday. We did Tuesday's show, and I haven't been on since. So I appreciate everybody for reaching out and checking, including people in the media that I consider friends, and just listeners and just people that care. That's when you've made an impact on folks, and I appreciate it greatly. I'm glad to be back. Glad that Jimbo couldn't keep his mouth shut. But
I think that would go for both of them.
Yeah,
you got to.
But I mean, and again, I agree. I agree. Coach probably should have just used a blanket deal and not said something about Texas A&M or Jackson State or even Miami, whatever. Because, I mean, it is out there in the media. If you can find it easily. But I also got to say something about Dion and Jimbo and some of these guys. People didn't fall off a turnip truck, man. They know what's going on. I mean, Travis Hunter's a great football player. Could have gone anywhere in the country. But he went to Jackson State because of NIL and because of Dion. And what Dion's doing for the SWAC is great. He's getting them a lot of positive publicity. He's getting them a lot of television exposure.
Yeah.
He's showing players that you can go there and earn money, and that's great. There's nothing. If a young man wants to go play for Dion and play, for a SWAC school, that's fine.
Yeah. When's the last time we were talking about Jackson State in late May?
But the thing with Jimbo Fisher is he's trying to throw it over on Nick Saban and call out Nick Saban personally, when the whole deal with Jimbo is me, myself, and I, trying to protect himself, because those that are the guiltiest shout the loudest. Just like you freeze. I'll say the name now.
He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
So, I mean, I'm sorry. Laquan Treadwell didn't grow up wanting to be a rebel in Chicago. Okay? Walter Nolan didn't grow up wanting to be an Aggie with his third city. But I'm just saying you have to understand that that's what it's about. That's what Coach Saban wants is he wants uniformity, and he wants everybody to have equal opportunity. He wants what's best for the sport. And just like when the college football was slow to basically do something about the hurry up no huddle, Coach Saban said, "Look, is this where we want football to be? If that's what we decide, then I'm going to adapt." And I'm going to win. And he did.
So in the Chris Lowe article today, at the tail end of the article from Chris, he said, Coach Saban said the goal at Alabama is to set up deals for all scholarship players to receive somewhere in the range of $20,000 to $25,000. That is the goal.
That is the high tide traditions. That's what they started. When you see these guys on Twitter, when you see Ty Simpson signing a deal, that's what this is about. They're getting paid, so they are getting paid something technically before they become great. But when they become great and that they become an All-American, then you can make as much money as you want. Nick Saban is in favor of the player. He's always been in favor of players. If he didn't treat players the way he does, he wouldn't be able to recruit the way he does. And as he said, since 2010, make $1.7 billion.
That's the key. The key is development.
Yeah,
the key is what he's done development-wise. And the caller earlier was talking about, they get. That's where you get the pay. Is developing. He's developing players like I've never seen.
256-576-4977. Bruce is on line one. How are you, Bruce?
Hey, guys, how are you doing? Drew, it's good to hear you off the IR.
Thanks, Bruce. Appreciate it. Thank you, man.
All right. I want to address a couple things that Bimbo Fishhead said. First off, Coach Saban never accused him of cheating. Go back and listen to what he said. And, it takes a blind man to see that NIL did not influence a recruiting class that in February signed 8 5-stars, then a 2023 5-star out of Georgia reclassified to make 9 5-stars when they had sold, I think in his first 3 classes, either 4 or 5 5-stars. So Bimbo needs to be, when someone doesn't accuse you of cheating, you need to keep your mouth shut. Second off, when you start, and he did this back the first time this came, he started throwing shade at Coach Saban about cheating. Here's the deal. If he knew it was going on then, and he did nothing about it, he's guilty. Because that's unethical conduct by the standards of the NCAA. Look, you believe it when it doesn't hurt you, you believe it when it hurts you, or you really don't believe it. So he needs to keep his mouth shut about that. And the last thing, and Wes, you played some pro football and all. Eventually, what the players' union and the NFL came to agreement is, we're paying these guys who've never proven themselves. And they put in, and the NBA did the same thing. They put in a rookie salary cap. Because all the guys that had proven themselves, that had gone to the Pro Bowl, All-Star games, been all-pro year after year after year, these kids coming in that haven't proven anything are getting all this money. And I'll give you an example where I work. I work at a local company here that's been around for about 45 years. This one's laughable. I was listening to a webinar that our CEO was doing. And then he was fielding questions at the end of the webinar, and this one person had the audacity to ask this. They said, "You stated in a prior webinar that we were a meritocracy," and he goes, "Well, I disagree. People should be paid for their potential, not what they've done in the past." And I literally, guys, I had to go back and re-listen again. Did this buffoon say what I really think they said? That's when you get hired, you get paid for your potential, regardless of the sport, whether it's the rookie minimums they have in the NBA or in the NFL. Then you get paid based on what you do. Yes, we are. Society is a meritocracy. The people that perform get rewarded for performance. You don't just get rewarded for showing up. So, but Bimbo Fishhead, he's a piece of work, man. And again, 9 5-stars in one class when they had 4, I think, in his first 3 classes. Guys, y'all do a good job. Y'all have a good evening.
Thanks for the phone call.
I mean, he's exactly right. I mean, that's the problem.
So Jimbo's always rubbed me the wrong way also.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But he's always been a clown.
Yeah, I'm going to say he's a clown. I think he's a good
If you listen to the full press conference today, you're going to lean towards the clown.
Yeah, but his press conference was awful.
Today. Someone should have pulled the plug.
He absolutely burned Florida State to the ground.
Yes.
When he left there, he took none of his coaches.
Yep.
I just never had a lot of respect for him. Now, I do think he's a good X and O guy. But, we've laughed at his press conferences after he gets beat by 4 or 5 touchdowns by Alabama, talking about how they were in the game.
How many conversations have I had with Jimbo when he says a play here and a play there and a play here and a play there?
Yeah, we got beat by 50, but we were close.
Well,
and he beat Alabama last year.
He did.
So I guess he's.
Then he lost to Coach O. That's
True.
all you need to know.
Yeah. So did Coach Saban the year before, though. So.
Yeah, but that team was.
Well, everybody lost to Coach O that year.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, Coach O wasn't all that bad. Is what I'm trying to say.
And all I'm trying to say with Jimbo is,
Coach O has the same amount of national championships.
He made his career because of working for Nick Saban. Nick Saban, hired him as an OC, saw a lot of potential in him. He used that platform to create value for himself, ended up being the coach in waiting at Florida State, took over a program that had been one of the best in the country for 30 years.
He did win a championship.
Yeah, he did win one championship. But if you take out that 1 year and you take out the one after that where he got smoked in the playoff, but he got to the playoff.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been total mediocrity. Okay? And even though he beat Alabama last year, yes, he deserves full credit. He lost to Coach O. He lost to Lane Kiffin. He lost to the Pirate.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost 4 games.
Yeah, he lost 4
games. And then he didn't want to play Wake Forest because he didn't have enough guys left that wanted to stick around and play for him in the bowl game. Probably would have lost a 5th because Dave Clawson would have handed him his butt.
Yeah, it's true.
So Olin Buchanan, a good friend of this station, came up with the first questions for Jimbo.
And I love Olin, okay?
Yeah,
Olin is a class act.
Questions. To the left, Olin. A couple of things, Jimbo. First of all, have you had any contact with Nick since?
No. Oh, he's called.
You just didn't take the call?
Not going to. We're done.
And
he shows you who he is.
And then I just wanted to.
He's the greatest ever, huh?
And then I just wanted.
When you got all the advantages, it's easy.
And I just wanted to just put it point blank. So, no players in you're saying that no players in
there's
this
no laws of anything we ever
or...
promised, done anything that goes against the laws of the state of Texas, and it's insulting to say a 17-year-old and his family broke laws. No.
He handled that as about poorly as you can handle it.
Fantastic questions by Olin Buchanan.
Of course, Olin is one of the best in the business. I love Olin.
So he broke no Texas laws, right?
He broke no Texas laws.
Exactly.
Listen to the answer. Just listen to the answer.
Wow. Just wow. Broke no Texas laws. Basically, yeah, here you go.
He's trying to be the pot calling the kettle black. And nobody's clean, man. Everybody understands that. No coach is clean. It's very hard to be that. But what Jimbo is basically, the shade he's throwing at Nick Saban is completely ridiculous. To take the focus off of himself and the fact of how his program decided to handle NIL, which is completely unethical. Now, it's not illegal. It's not.
Well, I think it is. For the letter of the law, it's illegal. You're not supposed to be offering players money to come to school.
High school.
From high school.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
So then he did. He did. You can say it is.
And him saying that they didn't pay one guy, does he think everybody fell off a turnip truck?
And then he says later, I've been told that he says later, we need to play it if we have it, that he doesn't know how the collectives work.
Yeah.
In this business a long time.
A long time.
Seen a lot of things.
It's disgusting to what we're into right now, especially by the people who are throwing the darts, who have no glass in their house.
My question was, is this the most upset, disappointed, angry you've been about something in your coaching career?
It's despicable for what it does for the sport. And the operations, the way things were done the other way, when the parity was there, like we said, never has been parity. Certain people never follow the rules anyway.
That is not where I do have it, but let's talk to Mike on line 1. How are you, Mike?
Doing fine. How are you guys doing?
Doing well.
Hey, just a couple comments. First off, I really believe in the trust in Saban. He's not going to make those allegations unless he knows for a fact they occurred. And by the way, he's not the first. Obviously, Lane Kiffin, and before that, there was one reporter back about 3 months ago who came out with it. So this is nothing new, and I got to believe Saban has some hard facts. Second, having listened to all the discussions about this the last couple of days from principally Texas A&M fans, I got to believe they probably have supplanted Ohio State as the most pretentious fan base in college football. And I say that, I'm thinking, well, Ohio State, they've won a little bit. And then I look at A&M, 83-year drought. They've won nothing, but yet they think that they're in the upper echelon of college football. In fact, I heard a guy say on the Feinbaum show, hey, we're on par with Alabama, LSU, and Auburn. And I'm like, okay, so if you look at the last 20 years, Bama played for 9 championships, won 6. LSU played for 4, won 3. Auburn played for 2 and won 1. So, no, you're not. Win something and then come back. Okay, I'll quit ranting.
Have they ever played for the West?
Thank you, Mike.
Have they ever played
No.
in the SEC championship?
No.
1939.
David is on line 2. What say you, sir? David.
Point from interview that Fisher did when he said, "Oh, we worked so hard. All these guys wanted to come to Texas A&M." He was doing a Bill Clinton. What is the definition of is? He never would directly answer a question. Did y'all do this? He always diverted. He's doing a Bill Clinton. That's enough.
That's the truth.
Thank you, David.
110%.
He didn't ever answer the question. He wouldn't let the question be asked.
Maybe for the win today, I turned to Twitter
for the win
at Coach Gus Malzahn 16 minutes ago. Just got on Twitter for the first time today. Did I miss anything?
Oh, man.
The Gus bus.
Yeah, it's a sad situation. When I first heard about it, actually, I got a call last night at 9:15 at my house, 9:18 to be exact, saying, "Uh-oh,
what's wrong?"
Yeah, since Coach Saban said Texas A&M bought all their players. I said, "What?" I said, "No, he didn't." I said, "Yeah, he did." He goes, "Yeah, he did." And it's on Twitter. It's going to explode tomorrow. And that was from my nephew, and he was right. I got to say that. I didn't know in what contents or anything. So, I've been working all day and talked to Tom. And Tom had played his press conference. He says it's the dangest thing he'd ever heard. Tom Abraham. And I said, "What do you think?" He said, "Well, Jimbo sounds guilty." He's just yelling. He's screaming.
Yeah.
He said, but Coach Saban should have never said Tom was right. I agree, and we all agree.
Yep.
He shouldn't have brought their name up. But I had no context of what else he had said until you played it. And when you played it, it changed a lot about how I thought. I still thought he shouldn't have probably mentioned that, but where he mentioned it, and to the people he mentioned it to, and how he mentioned it, it really is not that bad. Should he, second thought, not done it? Yeah, and he apologized for it. But Jimbo's reaction to me doesn't match. It's like Jimbo didn't listen to what he said.
The full 7 minutes.
The full 7 minutes.
Yeah.
To me. Either that, and if he did and reacted that way, it just sounds like it has Jimbo mad and worried. And he must have fielded some phone calls from some parents of the kids who received the money.
And see, that's the whole point.
That's if you listen to what all he said, I mean, this is hypothetical, but you have to because he wouldn't answer any questions.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying too, and that's what Coach Saban said about an Alabama fan potentially, helping buy a player, and then you go to the game and he doesn't play.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, that's going to happen.
Oh yeah. Whoa.
And then these parents are going to be like, "You paid me $300,000. Why is my son not on the field?" Well, guess what? He wouldn't come to practice on time. He wouldn't do what we told him to do, so he's not playing. you're not entitled to play just because you get paid some money, and that's why you shouldn't be paid up front.
Well, everybody knows that. So, but that's happening, and they got to figure out and deal with it.
And then,
and I think some kind of, like they said, some kind of pay them a minimum to come to school, pay them all the same.
And speaking of that, Jordan Addison picked USC.
Yeah.
So there you go.
How much?
I don't think Nick Saban wanted to get into a bidding war for a wide receiver to come onto his team that never made a play for Alabama.
Alabama baseball comes up next as the Crimson Tide head into their final week of the regular season against Arkansas.
Wait till they get that California tax bill.
Thank you, Drew DeArmond.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you to Bill Bender also for joining us. We'll talk to you on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Alabama. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions.
Pompey at the wall. Pompey watches it. Go over the wall. A grand slam home run.
Alabama baseball is brought to you by Golden Flake, the official potato chip of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Cook's Pest Control and Centricon, the unbeatable team for termite protection. Chick-fil-A. All the Chick-fil-A locations in Alabama are proud sponsors of the Crimson Tide. Auto Owners Insurance. Visit RollTide.com/auto owners to partner with an independent Alabama agent. And by Bud Light. It's for the fans. Now with a call of the game, here's Chris Stewart and Roger Hoover.
Alongside Lee Tracy, I'm Chris Stewart. Great to have you with us for our coverage of Alabama baseball, brought to you by Cook's Pest Control and Centricon, the unbeatable team for termite protection. Coach Brad Bohannon's Alabama Crimson Tide trying to cement a spot at the SEC baseball tournament next week at Hoover Metropolitan Stadium. The Tide playing tonight in Game 1 of the weekend series against the 5th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks. The Hogs come in at 37-14. Bama's 27-24. And while the Tide sits at 10-16 in Southeastern Conference play, the Razorbacks are currently 17-10 and in a very good spot as it relates to the SEC West. Currently tied with Arkansas, 1.5 games ahead of Auburn, who is all alone in the number 3 position currently in the Western Division standings. Our coverage of Alabama baseball is brought to you in part by Home 2 Suites by Hilton. And when you're in Tuscaloosa, stay downtown at the new Home 2 Suites by Hilton. Starting lineups in the first pitch when we come back here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Outdoor season is coming. Can't wait.
Here at Brooks & Collier, neither can we. Outdoor season is also grilling season.
And we have plenty of grills and smokers in stock from Traeger, Blaze, and Big Green Egg.
There's the greenhouse, new indoor items and home furnishings as well.
Whatever it takes. Browse over 2 acres of furnishings. Can't wait.
How about you? North Alabama's indoor and outdoor living headquarters for over 75 years.
813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
The starting lineups for game number 1 of our weekend series between the Tide and the 5th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks is presented by Chick-fil-A, and all Alabama Chick-fil-A locations support Bama baseball. We'll take a look at those starters after we pause 10 seconds so our local